Hello, and welcome to Silicon Valley Girls Chat Over Tea. I'm Gloria.
And I'm Rosetta.
And thank you very much for coming back, if you're coming back, to join us on this wonderful chat. We're so grateful for the opportunity to share our views of the world with you. And we want you to always feel comfortable and in a kind, loving space. No drama. This is the no drama zone.
Yes, it is. Thanks, everyone. And I was laughing because Gloria said, if you're coming back. But if you're not back, you won't even see this. Oh, thanks, everyone, again. Like Gloria said, if you're returning, thank you. If you're new, welcome. And we love doing these chats. We would love, funny, we would, sorry. Okay, we're just having a little break, little laugh here.
Yes, we're having so much fun. And you're like, why are those girls laughing? You know, we should laugh more. Life should be fun.
All right. Getting back to our chat. If you like our videos, and I hope you do, we would love for you to hit the thumb icon. Please consider subscribing. We'd love it.
Yes.
And hit that bell notification right there.
We have two bells. We have
the bell and the peace bell.
Yes.
And we like the peace bell because it's all year long. We want peace.
Yes, we want peace. Peace and harmony.
All right, everyone. When you know it, you know it. What time is it now?
It is tea time. Yes.
And what tea are we drinking today?
We are drinking a tea by Simply Bhonu.
It's a special tea because it's a person we know.
Yes.
And her name is Peri.
Yes.
And she makes these chai blends.
Yes.
And she sells them. She's local to the Bay Area.
Yes. We're actually going to be with her on Friday at an event that's called Savor, Sip, and Shop. And we'll put the link.
Soiree.
Yes. We'll put the link to the soiree in with the chat. So let me tell you a little bit about this tea. The ingredients are black tea, cardamom, ginger root, dried mint, cinnamon, and nutmeg. You know, she gives you instructions, shake well before when you open the container, because some of the ingredients are big, but the seasonings are smaller and they sift to the bottom. So the first thing you have to do is shake it,
or I got a spoon to mix it around.
Yes.
Because sometimes shaking, because there was a lot packed in there, didn't really shake that as much as I wanted it to shake.
Exactly. So here, there's a little QR code with specific instructions as to how to make the tea. So we made the tea earlier, and now we're gonna, we love to smell it. And if you open the bag, it just smells
amazing. Oh my God, the bag. Oh my goodness.
It's
that
amazing.
Was the combination is very good. Just like you would expect from chai.
Cheers.
Cheers.
The thing for me about the tea is when I first taste it, it's a very light, because, she gives you instructions on how to make the tea. And I think for me, I like my teas very deep and rich. And when I made it, because I know what I'm doing, it's my first time, I don't think I put as much tea in the little infuser as I probably should have. But as the tea sits in my mouth, I can smell the rich flavors of her combinations, and I love that. I think that's amazing, the combinations.
Yes, it's very good. This is my preference because everybody has their own way, their own style of chai. I like it where I'm going to put some more of this in this, what is it called? The blend, the masala chai. It's called masala chai blend, because she does in her video say she has another chai blend, and I forget the name of it, but this one is the masala. I love masala chai. Yes. So I'm going to put more of this into when I make it. So that's what I like. I like the pow taste, that flavor. Yeah. But it is good, and I highly recommend it.
Yes.
And as Gloria said, Friday, Savor, Sip, Shop, and Shop Soiree is coming in Santa Clara.
Yes. it's an opportunity for you to come out and taste this tea in real living color. Peri also makes these magnificent cookies that we've heard about. You notice I use the word heard because you have to go to an event to get the cookies.
Or she rarely makes it.
Right.
I don't even know if she would have made it. And because we know her,
Right.
and we're friends of hers, so she said she'll make it. But I
Yes.
don't know if it was just any event, if she would
Yes.
make it.
Yes. And if because she loves us, is she just going to give the cookies to us and so sad other people won't get to taste them? I'm just kidding. No.
You can if you come on
Yes.
Friday.
Yes, you'll be able to taste.
This Friday, 29th, 6 to 9 p.m. We'll
Yes.
put the link below.
Yes. So, and the tea, what I love is that you can add sweetness to taste. Rosetta and I are not big sweet people. However, Masala chai is more of the sweeter, creamy.
Yeah, masala chai is. And have you noticed that? I've noticed that with some teas, the more sugar you put, the more deeper, richer the flavor becomes.
Absolutely.
So we haven't, I'm not, as she said, not much, don't like it very, very sweet. So
Yes. Alrighty. So let's get into our chat. Our thoughts and prayers always goes out to the universe. There's so much going on in the world, and we want a calm, kind, loving environment. And one of the main drivers of that for both of us is children. The children are, I believe, and I know Rosetta agrees with me, our most valuable resource in the world. I was talking to someone earlier, and it almost brings me to tears. You know, we have a huge homeless population here in the Bay Area, Southern California, all over the world. Everywhere you turn around, you see these little encampment towns and how things are being built.
Yes.
Well, this person said to me this morning, well, you know, a lot of them are children. And I said, what? Because the children are aging out of foster care. And when they turn 18, if they haven't figured out a viable income by then, if the foster parents are not going to receive income for the children, they just let them go. So this is very, very sad with everything that's going on with Roe v. Wade and how that has shifted a woman's control of her body. So you want to force a woman to have a baby, yet if the woman can't afford to take care of the baby and the baby ends up into foster care, that's horrific. I had no idea. I'm going to pay better attention because usually when I see people on the streets, they look nasty, but they look older.
Right. Most of them do look much older.
Yeah.
And I don't really see, I mean, I don't know, but I don't. I'm sure you said you don't really notice many young, I mean, children. We're talking
Yes.
children like that are not adults.
Right.
Under the age of 18,
Right.
18 and under. I really don't see. I see a lot of older.
Yeah.
So I haven't paid attention to that much.
So I'm like, I'm going to, pay a little bit more attention to that. And one of the things that Rosetta and I have recently learned is that there is a high mortality rate between Black women and women of color versus a Caucasian/white woman.
In regards to the care when they're having babies.
Exactly, in regards to the care. Now, one of the things that I found very interesting is they said that there's a maternal mortality crisis in the United States. Each year, tens of thousands of American women experience life-threatening pregnancies and postpartum complications. Between 2000 and 2020, the rate in the United States, maternal deaths, this is loss of life of the mom, skyrocketed by 78%. Based on recent estimates, non-Hispanic Black women are 2.6 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related complication than white women. For Black women 25 and older, pregnancy-related mortality is about 4 times higher than it is for white women of similar age, according to data that was captured between 2007 and 2016.
Wow.
Yeah, I got more.
That's
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty
Yeah,
heavy.
we were talking earlier about Gloria was about Roe v. Wade and
Yeah.
how they what's that word? Overturn. That's
Roe
the
v.
word
Wade,
I'm trying to.
yes.
They overturn that, and they're saying that black women in the U.S. are more likely, 4 times more likely, to have abortions than white women.
Yeah.
And Latina women are twice as likely to have abortions. And the reason why we're so big on this is because we always want equality for everyone.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what race, what culture you come from, should be equality for everyone. But it just happens that the black women and women of color have traditionally been faced with overwhelming costs and logistic obstacles in obtaining reproductive health care.
Yes.
So that's, I mean, you think about it, because a lot of them do like get pregnant
Right.
more than the whites in the US, and it's not cheap to get health care. And with this abortion, the Roe v. Wade overturned, there's going to be a lot of, it's just a lot, this thing flying around, sorry.
Go away.
Go away. There's a lot more that's happening that people really don't see behind the scenes,
Right.
in regards to women of color and how they're treated as opposed to women of white. I mean, we
Right.
all will, women as a whole,
Right.
if you're pregnant, will have injustices because of this Roe v. Wade overturning. But
Yeah.
the blacks and the Latinas are even worse. And this is there's actually a thing. They say that it's a health crisis for black women,
Mm-hmm.
and that they're outlawing abortion to end ectopic pregnancy. Have you heard of that? So that's when an egg implants outside of the uterus
Right.
and can't come to term, but when they leave it to grow by
Right.
itself,
Right.
it threatens a woman's life. And these pregnancies are the 5th leading cause of maternal death for black women.
Absolutely. And according to the latest statistics, Arkansas,
Yep.
IVF place, Mississippi, Tennessee, Alabama, and Louisiana are the states with the highest maternal mortality rates. There are more women dying in these states than, say, California. Black moms, Native American and Alaskan Native mothers have historically higher risk of maternal mortality. And as of 2019, their pregnancy-related mortality rate was about twice as high as, once again, white moms. Now, the CDC is trying to figure this out, and they're like, there's just, we can't figure out a reason why a black mom's body has such complications. And I think some of it has to be because black moms are like feelers. I don't feel good. I don't know what's wrong, but I just don't feel good. And a lot of times doctors and nurses would tell them, oh honey, you don't know what you're feeling, just go home and everything's going to be okay. Sometimes that works and sometimes that doesn't work. Black moms are more at risk for maternal mortality because of chronic heart disease, hypertension.
Yes.
Black moms are more curvy. They're not like little stick figures. And unfortunately, a lot of black moms, when they get pregnant, they get diabetes.
Yes, because they're not educated on the right foods to eat, and they're not taught. And doctors, as we know,
Right.
they're more of prescribers than advisors.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll wait for someone to come to them instead of trying to prevent the actual thing from happening.
Right. I know the Hippocratic oath is do no harm, and I think unfortunately doctors have it's like a switch has been turned in their head, where before I only went to a doctor if I was just really sick. I mean,
Right.
sick to the point that, I mean, my grandmother would try everything she knew. She'd call all the ladies in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
My baby has da 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 da, whether I was at her house or with my mom at home. And it would, like we always say, it takes a family, it takes a community. And so when we went to a doctor, we were cured. We were not given prescriptions for the rest of our lives.
Right, exactly.
You went in, this is the problem, they fixed the problem, you went home.
That was the last resort, and it actually worked. Because
Yes.
as Gloria said, we never wanted, that was not our first resort. We hated going to see the doctor. We would
Yeah.
try stuff at home first
Yes.
before that was our last resort.
Yeah. And sometimes they try and act like, black women, they don't know anything. So there's a young lady, her name is Tori Bowie. She was born August 27, 1990, and she died April 23rd, 2023. It's coming up on her 1-year anniversary. Well, it just passed. It was the 23rd, and today's the 27th. Now, she was an Olympian. She won 3 medals at the 2016 Olympic Games in Rio de Janeiro. She got a silver for the 100 meters. She received, she was the anchor leg of the women's 4x100, and they won gold. And she won another women's 100 and 4x100 relay. So she had 3 medals. This is a highly athletic woman.
Right.
So her body has to be on it. And for her to lose her life just by trying to have a baby, and we'll put the link so you can read the article about her. They talked about her on Good Morning America. That is sad. So this is not something where it's a woman, she doesn't know any better, she's eating the wrong kind of food, she's not taking care of herself.
So what did she parts away from what?
From childbirth.
Childbirth, okay.
She died while trying to have her baby. And at the stage that her baby should have been, the baby was 1.8 ounces when it terminated, when they had to take her into the hospital. So here's somebody that is athletically sound, and she still was not able to bring her baby to term. So I think that if the Supreme Court justices are going to decide that they have overturned Roe v. Wade, then you need to turn right around and come up with a way to improve the foster care system or something. Because if you're going to take away women's ability to choose when and where they have a child, then you're going to have a lot of babies to take care of. And letting them sleep on the street is deplorable. We just passed a bill here to help our veterans. When I see some of the, they don't call them homeless anymore, they're unhoused. That's the new word, unhoused. When I see people, it breaks my heart because I give them money, but then when they see me, they want more money. And it's like, okay, can I put you on my 1099? I'm going to give you a 1099 because if I'm taking care of you. I believe if our government is going to put these young men into service, when they come home, 6 months, the first 6 months they're home, I think they should be on the base. I think even though they have family, they can go see them, but they should live on the base. You should put them back through society, because it is horrible to think that the streets are full of our soldiers and our children who have just, gone through the system. I don't know how somebody turn off love. You're 18, get out. And I understand, I personally understand what it feels like to have a person, have someone live with them for a check.
Right.
I know what that feels like.
I didn't know that, but I have seen in the past families that you see once in a while you come up with these stories, these stories of people adopting, they keep adopting, they have a house full of kids, right?
Yes.
And I didn't know this, but I'm like, how do they support these kids? They have 10, 15 kids, and I did not know, now I do know, that they get paid.
Yes.
To have them. That's why they keep fostering.
That's why they get them.
So you're right. I don't know how they can keep doing it and love them.
Right.
So they say they love them. Well, I'm sure they do love having foster kids.
Right.
But then at the age of
18.
18, you're an adult, no more.
Yeah, bye-bye.
I mean, I don't understand that. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Why even bother? Because you know that when they come 18, there's no more. That's it.
Right.
Bye-bye to your income, right?
And I also understand that in the foster care system, some children are abused and misused. And and I can hear my grandmother in my ear, she goes, there's a special place in hell for people like that. All the people who run around and think they can do what they want, how they want, you have to atone for that one day. I promise you. Something will happen in your life to bring that full circle. So if you're going to be good foster care parents, then don't do it for the check. Do it for the love of the child. Think of how you can take a child that has just been devastated. They lost their parents and they're in the system, and you bring them home, and you can turn that person into a loving, kind citizen of the United States. Or you can use them for a check and then put them out on the street, which I think is horrible.
Terrible.
So the Supreme Court justices, they've got a lot to consider, because the laws that you put into place, I can't think his last name, it was Justice Stephen is the one that stepped down. And he has written a book, and he's talking about how when you read the Constitution, you cannot go, we're just going to overturn Roe v. Wade, because there are consequences to that.
Yeah.
And those consequences will come back.
Well, a lot of people are facing it. And if you watched several chats ago, we did talk about that.
Yeah.
The overturning of Roe v. Wade.
Yeah.
So that's, and even now we talked about there was a abortion pill, right?
Yes.
That came out. Now they're actually going back to Supreme Court deciding whether they want to take it away from people now.
So you took away the rights and freedom to get an abortion at the country level and sent it back to the states. And now states are going around and they're taking away everything that gives a woman freedom of choice, piece by piece. So the Supreme Court justice now, the CEO, I don't know her name, of CVS, she came out and she says, I know people are going to be mad at me. She goes, but I, as a woman, I have to do something to help. So CVS is carrying that pill. You can go and buy it right now. So that's just one person. And yeah, there's a lot of CVS's around the world. However, to put a mom into that, I mean, it's hard enough to be in a position where you cannot give life to your child for whatever reason. And if your doctor says, I'm sorry, we have to terminate this, that is a medical decision. It should be treated accordingly. It should be between the mom, the doctor, and whatever higher spirit that she talks to. It should not be a government decision.
Exactly. I believe in that 100%.
Yes. So we're going to kind of switch on from that kind of heavy topics today. Yeah. And we're going to talk a little bit about Princess Kate
Middleton.
Princess of Wales. And, we had been talking about it. People are like, oh, what's she doing? Oh, my God, William is mean. Did he beat her? Is she hiding because her face? I'm like, dear God. Oh, did she get plastic surgery? Well, it got to the point that Princess Kate finally had to
come out and
say
tell
something.
Everyone exactly what was happening.
So on Friday, she released, it was either Friday night or early Saturday morning, she released a video that basically said that when she went for her surgery in January, that they found cancer and that they had recommended she go through a round of chemotherapy. I have supported women going through chemo and radiation. That is not an easy task. And you do not need people crawling all up your butt trying to figure out what you're doing. They did not even give her the time or the common decency to talk to her children. This is horrible. Our society is out of control. This is a private matter. And it's scary.
Well, for one, everyone was wondering why she went for the surgery. Nobody knew. We just knew that around Christmas time that she went for surgery and they weren't going to disclose what the surgery was.
And they said that, right?
Yes.
Up front.
Yes. So everyone was still wondering why, blah, blah, blah. It got to a point where they got so desperate that they went as far as going to a hospital to get the medical records, which I think is invasion of privacy.
I agree.
They went too far on that.
Once again, this ties back to Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan.
Yeah.
Because what did they leave for? Because of invasion of privacy. They was always into their cookies. And nobody could make them stop.
That's why they said there's only one way we can stop, and that's to leave the country.
Yeah, which is sad because that's his birth home.
That's really sad.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you get Kate coming out.
Yeah.
And she's on the bench, and she's saying exactly what's been happening with her.
Right.
And we find out that she's cancer. I mean, I just feel like, why does everybody need to know everything about everyone?
They don't.
If they don't want to tell you, they have, that's their right.
Yeah.
Their obligation not to tell you. So we have to respect that. And I was like, this has gone too far.
Yeah, I agree.
But it is very sad to find out she has cancer, because her dad is getting treatment for cancer. I mean, her father-in-law is getting treatment.
I mean, we even made a comment, what is going on with the food in the UK? Because Kate had got sick. It wasn't that she had cancer. She was sick and King Charles was sick. And then all of a sudden we find out that they both have cancer. And I mean, I might be wrong. I think that they've got more money than God. And I think they have access to the best doctors in the world. So what is going, and I know no one will ever say this out loud, but let me tell you, stress. They are the monarchies and they look all beautiful. But let me tell you something, when they go inside those castles and they close those doors, it is a hell of a lot of responsibility. The people, and everybody now the locals in England and the UK and, the community, they were like, oh my God, we love her. We just want her to be okay.
Right.
I mean, the sympathy is there. However, there are those paparazzis. They're out of control. I mean, and if we got to the point where we said, I really don't care, they quit chasing them. They chase them because they think that the sensationalism of the story is what we, the people, want. And I really don't care. Are they happy? Are they taking care of their citizens? Are they doing the right thing?
Well, what I do care about is their well-being.
Yes.
That's what I care about. But knowing that they already stated that they wanted privacy is all I cared about.
Yes.
I mean, that's as far as I would go.
And she has 3 children, and she said, it was important for me to be able to explain this to my children. And she named them, one by one by one.
Right.
And so I can remember when my friend had cancer and she would get those treatments and she would just be so sick. And we would crawl in bed with her because she'd be freezing. And we would just hug her and hold her. And I just hope that Princess Kate has somebody that loves her, that's going to, because I'm sure you don't see her parents a lot because it's all about the monarchy.
Right, exactly.
I hope her mom is all in bed with you, letting you know that you are loved. Your people of your country love you.
Especially, and I'm sure behind closed doors, William
is
doing a lot.
Yes. I mean, he even put his royal duties aside to go and be with his wife. So, that's when you can tell if you got a good man in your life.
And we wish you, all the best. We pray for your health and you get better, and, just hoping just positivity, healing prayers.
And, King Charles, see, you're not the man sitting on the side now. You can tell these paparazzis, either you respect our privacy or we'll take care of you. You got the power. Put their butts in jail. They'll stop.
Yeah.
Because you and Princess Kate have to have peace and harmony to heal.
Exactly.
So our thoughts and prayers for a blessed healing are being sent to you all right now. So, you know how sometimes you see something and you think, is this a movie? So I was watching the news and I see this cargo ship, and it's like sailing, and it hits the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore and collapses. The first thought I had was, oh dear God, please don't let anybody be on that bridge. I had visions of Loma Prieta when the Bay Bridge, the top half collapsed into the bottom half.
Yep.
We saw cars. I remember we had a dual freeway coming up 880 going to San Francisco. It's called the Cypress, and it collapsed on itself. Now, typically there would have been thousands of cars out there, but it was a baseball game, Bay. It was the Oakland A's versus the San Francisco Giants. So people got off early. People were at the stadium. So it wasn't as bad. I saw that and I kept thinking, oh my God. Well, by the grace of God, there were only 6 construction workers that they know of on the bridge that were working on the bridge.
Well, that's because it was at 1:30
in the morning.
So
Yes.
there wasn't that. Thank God for that. There wasn't that many
Yes.
cars. But you're right. It looked like a movie, a scene from
Yeah.
a movie, because you see, they do show a lot of videos of how the cargo ship was reporting Mayday. The lights went back on, then they went off and went back on slightly, and then it hit, and then it reminded me of just like some Lego
Yeah.
bricks just tumbling down.
I mean, because it's like it hit and then it kind of, those went down and then more. Because sometimes, well, our structures here, if you hit, that piece might be, compromised, but you don't see everything falling.
Everything like a domino effect.
Yeah.
It was so quick that I was like shocked.
Yeah. It also reminded me, what did President Biden say when he was first elected? We have to work on our infrastructure. We have to improve our roads, our bridges, our trains, our planes. Everything he said is coming around because, and of course he came out and said, we're going to rebuild it. I'm sorry, but I think the cargo company should be held accountable for that. I mean, we, the United States of America, are just not a bottomless pit of money. I think they should be responsible. I understand that they say that the ship lost power.
Right.
So to me, I would think, and I know, with the weight, there's momentum. However, that was just horrible. And so we have that situation, and then the loss of lives. Those families are going to need income replacement, and those are their loved ones. And the Coast Guard said, I think it was yesterday morning, well, no, it was probably midday yesterday, that based on the chill factor of the water and the time that they had been, looking, the crushed metal, and it was dark underneath, they were just like, it's going to go from a rescue to recovery, if at all possible.
Right.
So our thoughts and prayers go out to the family of the construction workers. I have a brother that's a construction worker. He works, oh Lord, he works like up here at Moffett on the big
The hangar.
the hangar.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
Taking everything off, and now they are fixing it. And I keep telling him, you're too old to be crawling up those scaffoldings, but he loves it.
Yeah, you have to be careful.
So.
Yeah, it's a really sad thing, and I didn't know this, but I found out that the port of Baltimore is the 11th. It says here, Port Baltimore is the 11th of some 11th. Oh, it's the 11th largest in the U.S. and the busiest port for car imports and exports, handling more than 750,000 vehicles in 2023 alone.
Right.
So that's going to cause a lot of disruption.
Well, the first thing they said is the supply chain delay. And
supply chain.
And I'm like, you know what? Don't do that. Don't manifest something that doesn't exist. You don't know how long it's going to take for them to move all of that out of the way. And to still, you can defer. Yeah, it's one of 11. It's not the only one. So do not start trying to gouge people for prices of cars. Just don't do it.
You're right. I didn't think about that, and and for them to do that, that's a very good excuse.
Yeah,
which we
so
don't
once
need.
Again,
we don't need that excuse.
We the citizens are just so overtaxed with, rates. This is all key, but I went to Costco And remember how they have like the kale salads?
Yes.
Okay, and the bags used to be,
Yeah.
okay, they're this big now.
Really?
They give you 2 of them, but
Okay, well, I haven't bought kale from Costco. I buy other things like
yeah,
spinach
but
and
yeah,
broccoli.
the spinach. Remember the big bags of spinach? Little bitty.
Well, I don't do
And I
the
do the
bags.
baby.
I do the boxes.
Yeah, well,
The-
they have the boxes.
The boxes are still the same.
Yeah,
I think I only got it one time, the spinach bag. It was big.
yeah, no, not in. I was at the
Okay.
store last night, and that was my thing. I was so in shock about I hear the word shrinkflation, and I see shrinkflation all the time. That was just ridiculous.
It really is shrinkflation. A lot of things are being, yes.
And I know eventually. See, I'm old school. If I go to your store like Costco and I look at that and I start laughing, I just don't buy it. I will go somewhere else. I will wait until Whole Foods or Trader Joe's puts it on sale, and then I'll buy it.
Yeah, exactly.
But young people, unfortunately, they just keep, and as long as they keep just doing that, prices are never going to go down.
It will never ever go down, or will never be stabilized. It will keep going because of the demand that people are actually buying it. I don't. I'm like you. I'd rather go somewhere else that's cheaper.
Yeah,
exactly.
Especially if it's local and it'll help my local farmers. My farmer's market. I get up at crack of dawn so I can go to the markets because I help my local people, and I know the produce that I purchase from them is organic.
Yeah.
I mean, because in California you don't say organic and you're not, because they'll get you.
Yeah.
So I just know that it's going to be a little bit of difficulty while they rebuild the bridge. However, I think they're going to start using some of the technology that we have here. So in Northern California, don't worry, just want you to know, our bridges have stabilizers because we live in earthquake country.
Yeah.
So our bridges have to be able to sway a little bit. A lot of our buildings, multi-story, I've been in San Francisco during an earthquake, and I mean, those buildings sway. And you're like, okay, it's just going to fall apart. But that's the way that they're manufactured so that they can survive a major earthquake. When Loma Prieta hit, I was working for Apple Computer, and there was a woman that was at one of the windows, and a guy had to grab her because when the quake hit, the window popped. We had a 3-story building, and at the end it was only 2 stories. The middle floor collapsed. So we have some really great technology here in Northern California.
But I have to say that the Japanese have even better technology because they do the earthquakes and they have really great. So
and that's a heads up for you, Baltimore. Check out Japan. The thing that we all have to learn is we have to learn to work together, to collaborate. War is bad. Hear me. Cooperation is good, because if we cooperate, we can build a world that is for all. And our children, which is what we always talk about, will have a much more productive life going forward. I'm just saying. So, did you watch The Bachelor? We took the season off. Joey picked his girl. He was down to 2, Kelsey and Daisy. And so, just like the Golden Bachelor, the girls did something different. Instead of the 2 girls being in 2 different cars, they decided they were going to ride together.
Oh, okay.
They held each other's hands. And during the ride, for some reason, Daisy kept feeling like, I'm not the one. She tells Kelsey, I'm not the one. She gets out the limo first. She talks to Joey. She tells him, I know I'm not the one. And he says, I don't want to hurt you because I love you too. Blah, blah, blah. She goes away. He picks Kelsey. I like the fact that the girls had a conversation. That was really good. So remember at the beginning of the season, they showed him crying. Now we know he was upset about having to break up with Daisy. As far as I know, they're still together. However, at the end, they made an announcement, right, Rosetta?
Yes, they made a big announcement of, Charity came on and made the announcement. Charity is the one that ended up with Dotton.
Yes, and they are so cute and so happy together.
Yes, and they haven't had their wedding yet, right?
No, because Mama's planning it.
She's planning it.
His mom told her, if you marry my son, I will throw you an amazing wedding.
It's going to be Nigerian.
Yes.
wedding.
So It's going to be a
it's
while.
going to be great. But she came out and she said the next Bachelorette is coming up, and it's going to be Jen Tran.
Yay!
From Joey's season, from this season.
Yes.
So we didn't watch The Bachelor this season, but I have it recorded on my YouTube TV.
Okay.
So I had all the episodes. So I did some digging into, and I went to some episodes and was watching because I wanted to see how she was in the episodes. This Jen Tran, I had no idea who she was, and I'm surprised because a lot of times you have Asians in The Bachelor or Bachelorette.
Right.
They're there and then they leave, and then nobody cares about them.
They make maybe 2, maybe 3 shows and they're out.
They're out, and you really don't see them having that kind of like forefront in the main as the main girls. They're always like, for some reason, they don't highlight them. They show them as just being there, but not really doing much.
And the same thing used to happen to black girls, and then all of a sudden, you know, I can't think of the first one.
Was it Rachel?
Yes, Rachel. She's the lawyer. So Rachel, and then we had Charity, and so now black girls.
Well, we had Michelle, remember?
Yes, so you know, black girls are starting to feel okay, and now Jen is going to represent for the Asian girls.
I always wanted the Asians, even the guys that go on to the Bachelorette, they're always left in the dust.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. And I'm like, when is it our turn? When is it the Asians' turn to have some like limelight?
Yes, and it's finally coming.
And I actually liked her in the Bachelor, the quick snippets I saw of her. I liked her, and she was pretty much. She went quite far in the season, and I actually liked her. But there was another lady there that was African. I think she was part Korean as well.
Yeah, she was mixed.
So there was a mix, and then there was another Asian girl there. So there was a lot of Asians there.
Well, that's what Joey liked. So that was really good.
So I was quite happy with that. And when I heard it was Jen Tran, I'm like, oh my God.
Yes.
This is going to be amazing. And I'm wondering if her season of Bachelor, they're going to be more Asian guys.
Right.
Because I wouldn't say
not all
of them,
Asian girls like Asian guys, however.
But there might be some Asian guys that just like Asian girls, and they're on there just for her.
And they might go further than 3 shows.
I'm looking forward to having more Asians, because she's right. She said, Jen, that a lot of times when Asians are in shows, they're just the token.
Right.
Like they're like fresh off the boat kind of thing. They just want someone in that stereotypical role, no one of major consequence.
Right.
So that's why I'm looking forward to this one. So if you are you looking forward to it?
Yes.
Let us know, because I'm definitely going to be watching that season.
I don't think she'd let me skip the season. I think we're in for this one.
Yes.
And I love the fact that Jen is going to school to be a doctor's assistant. So, you know, she's a smart girl. I like smart girls. When I watch the show, if somebody's like drinking too much and it's like
causing a ruckus,
you know, I just have to mute it and I look at it enough so I can talk to it with my girl. But I'm like, that does not make women look positive. And I think this once again goes back to the Golden Bachelor. Watching those bachelorettes on Gary's season has changed, not all of it, but it changed the way the girls interacted together. I like that much better.
I do. I really like it. I'm waiting for Golden Bachelorette to come.
I
Maybe
know.
After Jen's season, it'll be the Golden Bachelorette.
Yes, it'll be time. So, you know, we always talk about the weather. The weather is pretty consistent. However, we have a question for you. Do you have an emergency prepared kit? And if you do, when's the last time you did anything with it? We both have kits. And I was laughing because I told her, she goes, you don't have a kit? And I said, well, I have one, but I haven't touched it since I made it. I have one in the garage and I have one in my car. And I'm like, oh, those bottles of water are probably just empty now.
Well, and then I said to her, hold on a minute. When was the last time we revisited our emergency kit?
Yes.
Because we bought those hydrated foods.
Yes.
And we also have water in them. and we have to go back because those expire. So to make
Right.
sure, we like to have like those 24 packs of bottle. We don't drink bottled water at home, but we like to have it, a case of
Yes.
it for emergency use.
Yes.
But you got to be careful because they don't last a long time. They start to de-shape.
Yeah, and all of a sudden a full bottle will be like a third
Yeah,
down.
so
and
you
you're
don't
like,
want to.
And you're like, you're not in the sun. You're not evaporating. Where are you going?
So it can't be that great for you. So keep an eye out on that. And what is it? I mean, if you don't have an emergency preparedness kit, think about doing that. You can actually go on the you can go on American Red Cross, and they will actually tell you the things that you need to put in your emergency
Right.
preparedness kit. And a lot of those things I did not think about.
Yeah.
Did not think about, like clothes enough
Yeah.
for 3 to 5 days.
Right.
Cash.
Right.
Because how are you going to go to the ATM and get money out if you have
Yeah,
no
you're
cash? And a lot of kids nowadays are not carrying cash with them. It's
I
the
feel
plastic.
sorry for them because they never have money.
Yep, that. And what we do have, which I'm happy, is you can go to any of the camping stores, REI,
Right.
whatever sells any mountain or whatever, and they have these drinking straws that you can put into any
Yes.
water, into the lakes, into the rivers, and it will filter all out and
Yes.
taste. I've not tried it,
Yeah.
but they said it
it'll
tastes
taste like
regular clean
water.
water. So you all need that.
Yes.
Also matches that work when it's wet. You can get
Right.
matches that will not get affected when it's wet.
Right.
Because if it's wet,
Right.
you cannot use those matches.
Yeah, one of my favorite shows, Survivor. That's one of the first thing you have to learn is how to make fire. So you need a flint, just in your kit in case, and you have to learn how to rub those sticks together, and just to be a little bit better prepared because the mid-country is still experiencing crazy weather. I mean, it's snowing. They're having tornadoes. And it's hard enough. I mean, just imagine your house where you live, it's there and then it's gone. So in the case of an emergency, just start, writing down what do you want to take. Most people put like their family photos and, critical papers, and they have that in bags so that in a, catastrophe, they can grab it and run. So we just wanted to remind you all that is something that's still out
Or
there.
go to the Red Cross and get
Yes.
that list.
And make yours. I mean, mine in the garage, it was they said to get a 33-gallon garbage can and put all that stuff in it and just sit it to the side. I didn't even know if it's in there anymore.
Well, we don't have a garbage can. We have like a rolling backpack, kind of long duffel bag kind of thing that has a handle and we can roll it. So
There
that's
you
what
go.
we have.
So get yours, and if you have one, share below and let us know what it is. So thank you so much for the opportunity. I think we covered everything, right?
Yes.
To be together with us, and this is where we get to share a little bit about us. My name's Gloria Webb Williams. My company is Ancient Stones Nurturing Natural. I'm an all-natural mineral makeup manufacturer. You say, what does that mean? That means I buy raw material, and I actually love the material from Europe. Europe does not play when it comes to their citizens. If you have products that will make their citizens sick, they will boot you, and they don't care if you are number one in the world for cosmetics. So I am always looking for products that are high-end quality. The Netherlands has some of the best micas in the world. They're clear, they're clean, they're pure. They don't have a lot of garbage. A friend of mine, we were just recently talking about red dye number 23. And she says to me, oh, Gloria, you have got to make red lipstick. You got to. And I said, I can't. Because in order to make that beautiful red that we see on everyone's lips, you have to wait until a beetle goes through its life transition. And when it dies, they crunch up those dead beetle bug shells. And that's what makes that beautiful red. I like red, but I don't want beetle shell bug guts on my lips. So I'm okay if I don't ever have that beautiful red again. That was the only color before I started this business with my girlfriends that I used to wear, was just red lips. Red lips, mascara, and that was it. And even working with engineers, that was too much because you had to kind of like be one of the boys. So we didn't wear a lot of makeup or anything like that. So if you look at your product list, like I always tell you, take your phone, stretch it, make it big, and read it. And then Google or, whatever form that you use to do your search. Use a search engine to find out, is this good for me? Is this healthy for me? Or is it not? I just found a friend of mine, her husband is going through some serious illness, and there's an app called Yuki, Y-U-K-I. And what it does is it rates everything. And there are things that it said were not good for me. I figured the less number of ingredients, that has to be really good. So there are these things called Frito corn chips. It's just corn oil and corn.
Nope.
Really bad. I thought less is best.
Nope.
And
Because
then
it depends the source of where the corn is coming from.
there you go. And is it real, or is it, is it non-GMO'd, or is it, because my brain just has a hard time believing that little kernels of corn are not real kernels of corn.
Well, yeah.
So
Yes.
that's the most important thing, is reading. And like she said, who would ever think about where it comes from? But I tell you, not just in the cosmetic world, but in the very foods that we eat, we have been compromised so much, because when I go out of the United States, I can eat carbs and I don't gain weight. So there's got to be something in our food supply. So your cosmetics, your foods, just be on point, especially if you have young kids, especially. As we shared before, when we talked about the chef that attempted to get the schools to regulate the food that they feed our children. It is all in, where is it sourced from? As with cosmetics, where do they come from? Who's manufacturing them? And is it good for your skin? 3 seconds on the skin, it's in the body. So that's my tip for today. Gloria Webb Williams, Ancient Stones Nurturing Natural.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. That's very good. I always talk about ingredients,
Yes.
but on top of that, the source. So I'm Rosetta Chow, certified health coach, educator, and speaker. And I like to say I like to educate, because more people are able to understand what to do and how to improve their health if they are educated. That's number one. So if I can do it in a simple way, which is why my business is called Simply Health.
Yes.
Because it should be simple and easy to do, right? If it's tough, it's not sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
So my tip of the day is coming back to our kids, because we always like to talk about our kids. And I have to say, nowadays, there is more and more children being diagnosed with anything on the autistic spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
ADHD, ADD, Tourette syndrome,
Yes.
autism, on that spectrum. And it's very hard, because there's different, that you could be on the mild, or you could be on the medium side, or you can be very, what is it called? On far, very,
Right.
whatever that's,
Right.
I forget, on the high end of the spectrum, the high end, the low end, the medium end of the spectrum. And I'll tell you the reason being is, we call it attention deficit disorder, attention hyper. Now they've
Right.
added hyper deficit disorder. Think about it. I like to say that all this is connected to the foods that we're eating.
Yes, ma'am.
And if you think about it, it's not really called ADHD, ADD, it's called NDD, which is nutrition deficit disorder.
Absolutely.
And it stems from when the parents start to think about conceiving.
Yes.
Both parents have to be healthy for them to have healthy sperm, healthy egg. It's not just on the woman. A lot
Right,
of times
that's
pressure
right.
is put on the woman to be healthy. No, the man has to be healthy as well. Once you conceive, you've got to start thinking about what foods are you putting in your body that's going to affect your baby.
Yes.
everything you put in your body is going to go to the baby.
Absolutely.
So you got to do your best to eat the best foods possible to have a healthy baby. That's why a lot of kids are born with a lot of issues like ear infections, getting sick all the time, because they're starting off in this world as in a depleted deficit of nutrition.
Right.
Because as parents, as mothers, we think, okay, we're going to have a baby, we can now eat for two.
Right.
I have cravings. I can eat a whole pint of ice cream.
Oh.
I can eat whatever I want. Fast
Pickles,
food
pickles,
galore.
pickles. Yeah.
Remember, all that is going to your baby.
Yep.
And it's affecting them.
Yeah.
And the sugars and the processed foods. I'm going to eat this whole bag of chips.
Yeah.
Whole bag of XYZ chips.
And sometimes, you know, as a mom, you're eating all that thinking is really good, and then you get sick as a dog because that baby's like, nope, I don't want this.
All of that is affecting your child, and we don't even know it.
Yes.
If I had known this before, I wish that I had, because my first trimester, I could only keep down certain foods. I kept, vomiting, and I had lost 10 pounds. I could only eat like crappy stuff.
Right.
Well, what I really liked was sour things. But as I was getting back to my health tip is, if you're thinking of having a baby, start now to be healthy, you and your husband. That's the tip I'm going to give you, because if you're healthy, you're going to eat more healthier foods, which is whole food nutrition, fruits, veggies, berries, legumes, nuts, seeds, all the things that are going to help your body and your baby's body's immune system.
Yes.
So there you have it. Rosetta Chow, certified health coach, your health matters.
Excellent. Excellent. So we want you to know that we're very, very grateful for the opportunity to spend time with you. We thank you so much for listening to our chats. We would love it if you listen all the way to the end, because I hear that helps you rank higher. I don't know. We do this because we want to educate and teach, and we want to have a safe place for moms. And, it's very important that when we learn something, we share it with you.
Yes.
So we feel the love in the room. We send it back to you, bubbling over. And we're so grateful for the opportunity to be with you again today.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. And did you like this chat? If you did, why not give it a thumbs up? Think about subscribing to our channel and hit the bell notification so you'll be the first to be notified when our chats are ready to be viewed. Thank you. We are Silicon Valley Girls Chat Over Tea. And remember to always keep smiling.
Bye.
Bye.